The Algarve, Portugal's most southern region, was once known for its Mediterranean beaches and small whitewashed fishing towns. It has now been transformed by places such as Lagos, which is a thriving city full of spectacular architecture, busy markets and beautiful scenery. Lagos is for people of all ages, offering culture both old and new. The massive dock in the centre is popular with both tourists and boat owners. Here it is possible to rent a boat or get on a boat tour which embarks to the many bays and caves on the outskirts of the city. The small waterways that are used to link the sea to the docks add to the city's beauty, as they are often locations for markets and make for an extraordinary scenic walk. The city wasn't always like this. It has quite the cruel history. The old town, which is enclosed by the 16th century walls, hides some dark secrets. This was the location of the first slave market in Europe, where many slaves were brought over from Africa to suffer a terrible fate. This old slave port is now being put to good use. It is now a place for exhibiting art and telling of its history in order to educate people of the events that once happened here. Lagos's fish market is famous in the area due to its close proximity to the fishermen. It gets the freshest of fish, which is handled by experts whose families have been working there for generations. This 3-floor market is full of the freshest of produce, including a floor dedicated to fruit and vegetables, which is just as popular. This produce is the freshest that the Algarve has to offer. It is all homegrown in the region. Fishing in this region is many people's only form of income, so the amount of fishing vessels and crab pots you encounter is enormous. Docks are dotted all across the Algarve, offering spectacular views and even playgrounds for the local children. Portugal is famous for its waves, which is due to its location both having south and west facing coastlines, meaning it's perfectly angled to pick up the Atlantic swells in any direction. This brings many surfers to the area, both old and young, with having varied success. The largest wave ever surfed here was in 2001 by surfer Garrett McNamara, which was recorded as being 78 feet tall. This took place on a coast of Portugal, making it the perfect spot for thrill seekers, which is why you will see many surfers just bobbing around, waiting for the perfect wave. The 3 most popular locations for surfers are Arafana Reef, which is seen as being the best spot in the country due to its wide beaches and lack of large rocks. Just next door to this is Canal, which offers surfers the chance to surf both south and west facing waves due to its long beach which curves around an enormous cliff face. Cape of St. Vincent is the most southwesterly point of Europe. This wind-blasted and storm-pounded headland is just what visitors expected, for what was considered, up until the 14th century, the end of the known world. The jagged cliffs rise 60 metres from the ferocious seas, and high above, guarding the busy shipping lines, is one of Europe's brightest lighthouses that could be seen as many as 60 miles away. Henry, the navigator, the father of Portugal's 17th century golden age of discovery, supposedly spent much of his time based here, planning voyages that mapped and explored the unknown region of Western Africa. The land here is wild, windswept and remote, and tourists who visit will not be disappointed. Sagres Fort is not a classically constructed fort. It is more a large wall that divides the mainland from the edge of the cliff, with the other 3 sides protected by a 60-metre high cliff face. This wall was heavily fortified by cannons and other highly advanced weapons of the era. Inside the fort's walls is a giant wind compass that was used to aid early navigation. This was the first of its kind, and from here Henry the Navigator taught many people how to navigate. This and the small chapel are the only 2 structures within the walls. Because of this, the area became very popular, meaning that there are many churches in the surrounding region. Some of these churches are very beautiful and extravagant. Some were built on top of the cliffs where the wind and waves battered against the rocks below, creating a beautiful setting. These churches are very popular with tourists due to the fact you can walk right down to the water's edge, which is not advised on the windy days due to the severity of the waves. These chapels offer amazing views for the people brave enough to venture off the beaten track. They are very underappreciated as they are not known to everyone, but these views are their own reward for those willing to seek adventure. The surrounding area of Sagres is full of small fishing towns such as this one, Bagao, which is quickly becoming a tourist destination due to its quaint feel and beautiful beach. This has caused an increase in tourist shops and beach bars to keep attracting tourists. Boats scatter the shore of this small village as they are not used as often as they once were, as the locals now get their income by renting out rooms and floors of their houses to tourists. The Portuguese water dog is a very popular dog in the area. You tend to see no other breeds. Portuguese water dogs are originally from the Portuguese region of the Algarve, which were taught to herd fish into fishermen's nets, to retrieve lost tackle, broken nets, and to act as couriers from ship to ship. This is clearly not the case anymore, as the amount of fishermen in these small villages are decreasing year by year.